Look, here's a photo of me in a senior home playing Generation 20 of Pokemon. But all jokes aside, the topic of today's video is the mysterious Mr. Fuji, once previously known as Dr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji always been one of my favorite characters in Gen 1. His kind-heartedness, his love of Pokemon, just so appealing. So I was really happy to be able to recreate his art for the upcoming Pokemon TCG pixel art community project. A link in the description that talks about more of that. But here we have a kind Oji-san, and he is known to take in orphaned Pokemon. Tried to gather all this information, thinking about a design for the card. Tried to think about all the information we know about him, which is honestly not too much, but there is some intriguing details left, kind of breadcrumbs in the game. And I tried to look at the original artwork, which I actually really love. This is one of my favorite Generation 1 pieces of art. Ken Sugimori, classic. And Chunky Pikachu, Lickitungu's just licking him. He's alright. He's alright with all this. I love the Poliwag is really spacing out in the background. I kind of identify with that Poliwag back there. Just zoning out sometimes, spacing. But yeah, today's pixel art, I tried to think about Fuji, and of course there's the iconic story with Cubone. So I wanted to incorporate some of those things in my design to differentiate it from the original artwork. So let's take a look at my workflow, my thought process as I was creating this artwork. But I wanted to incorporate Mr. Fuji, and I wanted to incorporate the Cubone to give it more of an iconic style. For this card, I decided not to use the original palette of the Fuji card, but chose my own that kind of matched the setting here in Lavender Town. I picked a strong purple. So let's take a look. So like always, I began blobbing out the general composition, some of the shadows, but you know, I know I'm gonna carve those down. So here's the general idea of Cubone and Mr. Fuji, giving him a nice little hug, a little comfort. You know, as Cubone's obviously gone through this loss, he's got some tears in his eyes. So I did try to make it a little more sentimental, a little more sappy of a pixel art, since we all know the origin story of Cubone and how sad that is. So here's Mr. Fuji's empathetic care as he's gonna orphan in this Cubone. So I tried to just work really hard at getting the style right here. He looks more like Blaine, so I got rid of the hair. You can see I just trying different things to capture the right mood, the right character design. I did choose to put Mr. Fuji in more of like a kimono design. The reasoning just being Lavender Town looks a little more classic Japanese style to me, even on the Game Boy. So I just wanted to give him something that kind of fit his surroundings, give him a little more stylized look. So here, yeah, you can just see I'm just trying to get the shape of everything right. And this is classic pixel art style. Tried to do this dithering kind of like the original cards had. And here I'm trying to work out some backgrounds that look like a kind of a Japanese house structure like you would find in Lavender Town. And just kind of working hard to get the roof right, get the look of it right. It always takes me a while to get satisfied. And then I decided to scrap it and make it the actual Lavender Tower to give it that thematic, add a little light source that I was already starting to hint at. But here's the moon. And just trying to get the look of it right, along with some clouds, some fog or haze, some light, just to get the right mood going, you know, for this piece. I ended up actually just turning it into a street lamp instead. Just looked a little better. Get some stars in there, and yeah, you're starting to see it really come together and how these things just carve out. And okay, well, let's take a look at the final piece. In this piece, I finally got the 4 colors correct. I didn't accidentally use more. And here's a side-by-side comparison of the original card on the Game Boy. And here's a rendition of my card. What do you think? Did I do Mr. Fuji justice? I really hope so. He's one of my favorite Gen 1 characters. And so, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. What would you have drawn? And we'll see you in the next video. Look forward to the project. Thanks so much.